Good morning. Welcome to BCB Live. Another exciting day ahead of you today. We have another great interview. He was in person about a month ago, Big Ed, and today he's coming in through our virtual, technology. We're going to have him online. We're going to talk, a little bit about freight. You guessed it, Drive Safe Dave. And as we talk about freight, we continue to see just it's an odd time right now, but Dave, there is relief in the way, in some of this fuel tax or the fuel holiday. Where is that at? I looked on the calendar, I heard about a fuel holiday, and I went back to the calendar, and nowhere is there a fuel holiday. What the heck is a fuel holiday, Drive Safe?
It is a suggested holiday for 3 months. It's a small tax abatement on making sure that no federal income taxes imposed on any gallon per gallon. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't see it getting any grip in the Senate, any grip in the House. I don't think it's going to make it, but they were talking about it. Says they did a survey and they found.
Are you for it or against it?
It won't matter. It won't.
I didn't ask that. God, you will not just.
No, I don't think.
You avert every question I have.
No, I'm saying it's not going to make a difference. It's not going to make. No, I'm against it. It won't make a difference.
Thank you, Dave.
It won't make a real difference.
Doesn't it make you feel good knowing that you finally stood for something?
No, I'm here to report the news, not opinionate the news.
I'm asking you what you did, dude. You make up most of the news we have here is made up. But Dave, think about this. For the individual, they're out there filling up their car, 20 gallons, 18 cents is what they're going to save. Do you think that's going to turn this, is going to spur the economy? Is it going to make a change in a lot of things?
No. That's why I said it's not going to help at all. 18 cents isn't going to make.
Let's round up to 20 cents.
Okay.
20 gallons, that's $4. Okay. So we're talking $4. Yeah. So Drive Safe Dave, here, producer, let's go to you. So you're going to have an extra $4 in your wallet at the end of the week because you're going to fill up once a week. 4 times, 4 weeks, about $16. What are you going to go out and do with that extra $16?
You can't do anything right now. I mean, that's one meal basically. Even at a fast food restaurant, it's about one meal.
And it's also going to be suspended on diesel as well. So I mean, it depends on how many gallons of diesel you buy in a month. I'm just saying.
I'm talking about the individual.
Well, I don't know. Did y'all see that? There's a big movement. I guess it's more from my age group, but I mean, it's gotten pretty big where people are proposing basically they're not going to buy gas July 3rd through the 5th.
Oh gosh, how many times have we heard this, Dave?
So you just fill up on the 2nd, and then you go back and fill up again on the 6th. I mean, great move.
I'm not taking part of it. I'm gonna need gas.
I'm just saying, fill up on the 2nd.
We hear that all the time. I know these. So
school walkout.
Yeah, and you'll hear this. We do hear those things. Let's not buy gas or diesel. This is what it's gonna do, and you just end up buying it the day before,
whatever,
the day after. The money
exactly.
Gets spent. Yeah,
makes no sense whatsoever.
Maybe on that, but Dave, the ATA is harsh against this. They're saying no.
No, and look, let's be honest. The refineries are like 20% less production than they were 10 years ago because we're not.
Root cause. All we're doing is trying to hide something.
Absolutely.
Fix the problem.
Absolutely. Pump
up the gas. Pump it up.
Yeah, get it out of the ground. Let's get that. Turn the pipelines back on. I mean, God. Let's stop the bleeding because a recession's coming.
I thought you would happen. Like, you know what? You come clean.
I don't know. I can't help it. I wanted to report the news, and you let me go. That's why I try to hold back because then I get mad, and then I want to pound my fist on the desk, and then it comes out. Oh.
Yeah, you know what? And so, but it's coming up. I don't know what happened yesterday. I know that was when it got kind of proposed. It's going to have some steps on it. But not the answer.
It is not the answer.
Look at the problem. Address the problem. Root cause. Always go to the issue and fix it there.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, with diesel, with service, with safety, no matter what, that's what you do on this. Drive Safe. Did you see the dude that stole the patrol car?
We've had a story like this a couple of years ago. What is the deal?
I don't know, but it always happens around like 2 or 3 a.m. too. Never do we see some of these stories happening.
This guy gets in the car, and then, of course, he makes a run for it with the lights on. I mean, I don't
Well,
understand.
before he does, so he goes in and he breaks in and gets this, and goes in and breaks into the car, right? The cop car
No, he's on like a
place.
spree.
And
Wrong
then
video.
They get then they have there's like a call, and he goes to the call. And they're like, dude, what are you doing here? Let's go get him. He gets in his thing, drives away, gets out, runs. Now he's got stab wounds. I guess he tried to
self-inflicted wounds.
It's just it's crazy times. I don't. Is that fuel related?
I don't think that's fuel related. I think that's just insane. I think that. And by the way, look. They said that he was running from the police with his lights on. Like, don't be like the most obvious vehicle flying down the road.
Look, they were taking pictures and posting them.
Oh no, that's
Producer's back from vacation. This is
yesterday's story. Good job, producer.
We could go with it, but we may have listeners that actually watch the show. But I like what you said. Yeah, that was a great story yesterday. Hey, but in Phoenix, Arizona, speaking of gas, there's a guy that owns a Valero.
I know, I saw that.
Selling it for 50 cents under the price because he believes that's doing the right thing. He's like, you know what? Humanity's got to come into play someplace. Reduced his price at the pump drive, say 50 cents. That's, you know what, Biden, you see that?
Yeah.
I mean,
here, I got your 18 cents right here.
Now that makes a difference right
50
there. 50
cents
He's
makes a difference.
Doing it on his own, and I'm sure there's something in there that says, hey, come buy some of my overpriced bread in here.
He did say we would appreciate you coming into the store and buying things in the store.
Well, weren't these chips 50 cents yesterday?
Now they're $8.99 a bag. But you know what? It is you help out where you can. I like it. It made the news. It was nice. Neat stuff. I think 50 cents is a
kudos to this guy right here. And again, you know what? Go support him. You know, and don't just buy the gas. Go in there and buy that.
Buy the soda.
Yeah, buy the soda.
Buy the $9 soda. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Help your fellow man out.
Drive safe, Dave, man. You're too much this morning. Hey, let's talk about the school signs right now. And listen, we know it's summertime, but still, when you see these signs, we want to make sure that you're slowing down, even though there's no school going on right now. Drive safe.
Summer school.
That's a very timely shirt right there.
Well, you know what? It's a sign, that an emblem that you need to recognize, understand what it means, and any pedestrian in or entering a crosswalk, it has the right of way. They don't even have to be in.
Only if there's two, right?
No, it's not just. No, not just two. It's for any pedestrian, singular or plural.
Are those what school is this? It's like adult school. This is like over college age. These are like old people. What is going on? And does he have her by the arm? Is he like dragging her?
No,
I
don't think he's dragging her. Or why are you reading way more into these? Why are you reading so much?
You're trying to show a sign to me, Dave. You're calling out for help, maybe in your signs right now. We did have that. You see the Uber. There was a story about an Uber lady that ordered Uber Eats her food, and on her phone she puts it like a text on there.
I'm kidnapped. Call the police. Yeah, that I'm.
You know, it did. I read the note. And I would have thought she was drunk or something, I'll be honest with you. But she did do that. They called the police, 911. They went out there instead of the Grubhub. It was a officer went in there, and yes, the guy had
sexually assaulted her. And
he had a list of things on him.
Yeah, he was charged with multiple counts of kidnapping and all kinds of that.
All sorts of ways that we're seeing people reach out for help right now, in bad situations. And I think, Dave, what they said even on the restaurants, like, I don't know if they're joking, if this is, but call 911.
Don't treat every one of them serious.
And we see that too. We talk about truckers against trafficking. Right?
Absolutely.
When you see things at the truck stops that don't seem right. When you see a young kid going from truck to truck, something doesn't seem right. Make that phone call. As a matter of fact, Dave, hey, go get TAT certified.
Absolutely. You can get online anytime. Go to truckersagainsttrafficking.com. You can take the 30-minute course online, and you can become certified. Just a little bit more knowledge on what's going on out there and having the ability, the wherewithal, and the courage to say something. whenever you see something, and that's necessary out there to stop what's going on. And we're talking about slavery. We're talking about very important, very serious matters when it comes to human trafficking. It is a real problem, and it is going to continue until we do something about it.
Yeah, and the signs when you see this human, it's not like you'll see a sign out there, human trafficking going on right here. You've got to use your eyes. You've got to go out there and use some common sense.
Absolutely.
And that something doesn't seem right.
Right.
And for most of you, especially you out there, on the truck drivers that we're talking to, you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
You know when something doesn't seem right. And what we want you to do is to get involved with Truckers Against Trafficking. Call 911. Go get TAT certified.
Absolutely. They actually have a hotline that you can call anytime. You can remain anonymous. You don't have to give who you are. What they're really trying to encourage is involvement. If you see something, they want people to say something so that they can save a life today. And that's what they're trying to do, because that's what's going on out there. It is a form of slavery in what's going on. And you know what? You all know what I'm talking about out there, truckers out there. You all know there's no reason that car is slow rolling through the parking lot in a truck stop, out there by the trucks in the middle of the night, flashing lights. There's no reason for that, and we all know what I'm talking about when the young lady's trying to get a ride, or young man. We all know the problems, the issues, and the situations. You just need to see the message. The video is, you need to get on there, look at it, and it is very, very important that you do that.
Yes. Hey, Drive Safe Dave, we're going to go. We have Big Ed coming
All
up.
right.
And, Dave, I tell you, you made a quick bounce back. For those of you that couldn't tell, Drive Safe run a little late today. Overslept today. Got into here just minutes before we
That
went
is
on
not
air.
true. Why do you keep saying that? How long was I in the studio before Sir Rick got in here?
It's not safe to say you were here minutes before we got on.
Yeah, minutes is not. Well, of course it's true,
Don't argue it.
but
So
it's like,
minutes
how many
before
minutes?
We get on, we go live. Drive Safe Dave walks. We'll come back, and we're going to try
An
to make
hour.
a back here with Big Ed coming up next on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
This segment has been brought to you by Utility ProWear. Utility ProWear manufactures high-quality, ANSI-certified, high-visibility apparel for both men and women. Infused with the Teflon fabric protector, Utility ProWear affords the wearer durable clothing with a great fit to afford the highest degree of safety. Get your high-visibility apparel by going to utilityproware.com. Use the code BCB20 at checkout for an exclusive discount. Good morning, Big Ed. How's it going? We have with us President of Burns Logistics Solutions. Big Ed, how you doing?
Awesome. Great to be with you guys. Good to see you.
You know what? It's a little bit different. I'm glad I talked to you. But you got a jacket on with long sleeves. It's obviously not 105 there like it is here.
It is not.
Hey, Big Ed.
It's a cool, rainy Pennsylvania day.
Oh, nice.
Hey, where's Little Ed at? You got Big Ed here, waking up early. Where's Little Ed at? Is he sleeping in?
No, he's up early. I mean, he typically, he does a lot of stuff on his own. He'll work remotely. And a little fun fact, his wife is due any second.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
Well, everything goes good. Congrats. Is this grandbaby number one for you, Big Ed?
This is indeed.
All right. Well, that's exciting.
That is exciting. I think.
Does Junior, does he live up there with you in the Pennsylvania area?
He does. He's close. Yep.
I think we have a picture of you and your son here that we'd like to post. Is that okay? Hey, producer, you got a picture of them two together?
I do. I got your cool office, and
that is you know what? Is that where you are right now?
Yeah.
Does it come with a train? I mean, it's cool to have a station, but does it actually come with a train?
No, when the train comes by the station, it's an event.
Oh, okay. I just said it looks like it was parked outside. Like, look, not only do I get a station, I get a train.
Well, it's coming because it comes down really slowly. So it was a good day. I'm like, I'm going to go take some pictures. So.
Oh, nice.
Do you have times like on your calendar that you just can't have meetings? The train's coming by at 10:45, so you have like these times already blocked out that you cannot have a meeting.
The train comes when the train comes. I am not on that schedule. I'm not privy to the schedule. So.
They don't send you a. They don't send you. I figured every station got like a train schedule, right? I mean, it seems like if you own a station, they would give you a schedule.
You'd think, yeah.
It's like trucking right now,
It's not that active, it's not an active track.
Good stuff.
Hey, so Ed, what's been going on since you were here? You were here about, it was around May 5th. You and I were talking just a little bit ago. Anything big going on since you were here?
Well, when I visited you guys last time, I was in Florida. We have a property down in Florida, and I was working from Florida. So, going back to Florida was very nice. Not that coming back to Pennsylvania isn't nice, but it is different here in Pennsylvania. I mean, the atmosphere, Pennsylvania, in terms of working, attitude, it's government stuff. It's a different place in Florida versus Pennsylvania here in the Northeast. And when we visited last time, you asked me why am I in Texas, and my answer was freedom. And I would argue, Florida's a pretty free state. So why does everybody go to Florida? Not only because it's beautiful, because it's free. So Pennsylvania, not necessarily the case. But what's, I will, one thing, you add this question, our state trucking association, the PMTA, and every state has its association that supports our industry. A couple weeks ago, Ed and I were at the PMTA annual conference, and I would tell you, look, we don't have trucks. We're in the industry, and we support the industry. But my endorsement of these state agencies, it is if you have a trucking company and you want to have a say and you want to learn about best practices, you need to engage in your state agency. And I was just so impressed with the Pennsylvania Motor Truck Association, with the level of caring, the level of interest in people's success, the level of interest in how the government, federally and state, affects our industry, affects commerce. Our state wanted to toll 9 additional bridges and crossways in the state of Pennsylvania. 9. And through the efforts of the PMTA, that has been tabled. They stopped it I would say for the time being. And I think that's just, that's amazing. So great advocates. And I would think the other agencies within other states would be just as robust. So that would be something I would share.
And just curious, are they not only are they not going to put the tolls, are they still going to put the thoroughfares through, but just not make them tolls? Was that by design or by intent, or are they just holding off altogether on the project?
Holding off altogether on the project.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, the trucking associations across the states. You know what? If you're watching this, I'm glad you brought that up, Ed. Hey, get involved.
Absolutely.
So many times we want changes. So many times we ask these questions, and it starts with involvement at your local. I'm going to say your local trucking association. A great place to get started. Ed, I appreciate you bringing that up. Ed, when you were here back in May, early May, I wanted you to see this right here. We had just, kind of gone through that big fuel increase. You're like, my God, can't it get any worse? And we were pushing it like $5.20-ish, something like that. Today, $5.85 a gallon. What are you hearing from the shippers on fuel pricing?
From the shippers?
Yeah. So
well,
are they asking about anything? Their pricing's still going up because of the fuel surcharge.
Yeah, and this is, yes. So I think a shipper will look at that total cost to move the load, and even though rates may stabilize, that the line haul rates per se will stabilize, they go, oh, my rates are still going up because of the fuel. Well, that's a whole separate deal. And the other thing too with the fuel pricing, And it's quite amazing what a month difference is, because it really is an issue now. The other issue with this fuel is the deadhead. I mean, shippers don't necessarily think about deadhead,
Yep.
and I get it, they don't necessarily have to, but my goodness, it comes into the total cost of moving the freight because, the carrier has to get to your facility. They have to make a delivery. And the big issue with the carriers, smart carriers, disciplined business folks, what do I do with the truck when I make the delivery? What's my next move? So when the fuel is relatively stable, you could eat 100 miles to go chase a piece of freight. You really need, especially if on a longer length of haul. But now you got to really be concerned with that, because when you're here in Pennsylvania, you're north of $6 a gallon. I mean, it's costing, for argument's sake, $1 in fuel a mile just to move the truck.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's insane, right? It's insane. Hey,
Right.
Burns Logistics, y'all have been in business a long time. I hear you're involved with the Trucking Association, the knowledge you have in our industry. Hey, talk to me about Burns Logistics and some of the value that you bring because of all of this knowledge to the carriers and to the shippers.
Well, I don't think it's really sophisticated. I like people. I like to meet people. I'm a relationship guy, and we talked a lot about that on our last visit. And by doing that, I just get to, and I really like introducing people who can help people with other businesses. Even personally, it's always good to introduce people, to network. So, we have found a way to make a living on our introductions. And by the networking that I've done over the past I've been in the business 30 years, and now add an Ed, and my son he just networks like nobody. He can work a room like nobody's business. And we genuinely care about the outcome, and we care, our culture's about care. We care about these introductions. We want to help people meet people to help their businesses get better. So the value we bring to the marketplace on the carrier side and the shipper side is that we're able to identify good relationships that can help people grow their business and be successful and have long-term relationships with each other.
Yeah, Ed, there's a lot of things out there that you can fake, and Dave will know that. I mean, a lot of people can fake things out there. But Ed, one thing you can't fake that I give a crap. And I think you and your son, you can't fake that. It's real, it's your passion, that you really do care about these carriers and the relationships between them and that shipper.
That's very, very true. Very, very true. I mean, we're looking, commitments are a big deal, honoring commitments, defining what the needs of a given shipper are, and try and find the best carrier match to fit that. And then, try to peel the onion back to identify what the business is about, what are their needs, and make sure that we're placing the appropriate carrier that can support those needs. And when that happens, and there genuinely is a good relationship between carrier and shipper, typically the rates will be sustainable. And if the freight operates well, and it fits the network, we take, helps with their cost. The drivers like to go to the business. The drivers like to go to the pickup. The receivers, they're treated fairly. It works really, really well, and the pricing is stabilized, the service is at high levels, and then the business gets done appropriately and sustainably.
So let's talk, and Ed, let's talk future outlook, how we're looking in the market going forward. What are your, everybody's talking about recession, everybody's talking about, other things and people going out and customers. What are you looking at, and what are you seeing out there that's coming up for the market and for our industry as a whole?
Look, I think I'm gonna trip on this. Digitization Everything is very digital. So I think the ability to go to market quickly is key.
It is.
So when the shippers go to market, I think it's very archaic. It's still a very big spreadsheet situation. I think the bid cycles take too long. So that all needs to be improved and it needs to be quicker. And there are tools in the marketplace now that allows that. So
yeah, I agree with what you're saying on that, on Ed. It's we've heard about that digitalization, right? The digital brokerage, the digital freight, all matching, all this, and it seemed like a couple of years ago, it's like, you know what, we're not there. But listen, you know what? As we speak about all the time, heck, we put men on the moon in 69. You know, things are possible, and we do see it today. This digitalized freight brokerage, this ability to go out and get rates a lot quicker, it's real. And I think the shippers, the carriers, they all have to realize it and embrace that technology. Hey, Ed, talk to me about this, because I am curious. I don't work with my kids, and I told my kids I probably won't work with them. How's it working with you, with your son, with you? So you got two Eds out there cruising the road together, you're knocking on doors together. Hey, what's that like?
it's fun. I mean, at the end of the day, it's fun. He's a great. I have four wonderful kids, and he is my oldest. And he showed interest in our business.
Is he your favorite,
Ed?
Ed?
With me prior. Pardon me?
Is he your favorite?
Is he your favorite?
I got four favorites.
There you go.
If you meet it, here's a little fun fact. Big Ed fun fact. If you meet every kid will say, "Hi, my name is, I'm Big Ed's kid, and I'm his favorite." Everyone thinks they're their favorite.
As they should.
Oh man! So are you have the ability to teach your son though? Has he soaked a lot of that knowledge from you?
Yeah, and he gets mad at me when I share items with him. Like there's a lot of subtleties of our business. I don't know whether it comes from plate trailers, roll-up doors, sliding tandems, whatever kingpin. I like share this. He goes, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Oh, it's part of the equipment." He goes, "Why are you holding out on me?" He goes, I have to get stuff out of your head. He goes, "I just need to get things out of your head." He's a super smart guy, and it's great to work with him, and he has wonderful ideas how to improve our business, how to bring more value to the marketplace, and just be more successful.
Wow.
So
I'll be honest with you, I'm jealous. I wish I had somebody in here that gave me that same value that your son gives you. And I feel like it's more of a one-man show inside this office in here. But
I don't know about that. You're surrounded by a culture that's pretty darn successful. So we're a small organization. But I mean, to try to answer your question quickly, is Ed makes me personally better, professionally better. He's hungry. He's very hungry. So I mean, we're in the business. We eat what we kill. So. He wants to grow. He wants to grow the portfolio of business, the portfolio of our shippers, portfolio of our carriers. And how do we bring more value? How do we communicate with them more effectively? How do we get the needs of our shippers to the needs of our carriers in a more timely fashion, i.e. digital? So there's a lot of things like, candidly, like I don't think I've never thought of. Because it's like all in my head, and I'm like, oh, these people can talk to these people. He's like, we just need to do this quicker, more effective.
And as you talk about that, and as you bring it up, this digitization, I can't even. You got me saying it, Rob. But as we talk about it, the ELD mandate helped create this technology moving forward, because every single tractor has an electronic device in it, locking in where it's at, where it's going, how many hours it has left. Everything about its logbooks in there, everything where it's been, how many hours the driver has left, everything in there is going on all around the country at this moment. We're now gathering greater data, able to make better decisions in this industry, and we're talking about linking all these things together.
We sure are.
Yeah. No, it is. I'm telling you, the ELD, it all started, I think, with the ELD.
I agree,
mandate.
100%.
It gave everybody that ability for the first time to have data. And
Right.
now we have to learn how to use the data to do certain things with. All that's exciting. Hey, Big Ed, we got a couple minutes. I have this down because I wanted to ask you earlier, but I'm not getting out here. Hey, so why the train station? I mean, all the places you could work. I mean, why did you choose the train station?
Mrs. Burns chose the train station.
There you go.
So,
Good
Burns-
enough.
Yeah, Burns Logistics was a homegrown home office, and she's like, "You have to get out of here." So, the station is 5 miles from our home.
Nice.
It was a good deal. So it needed some love. It was a private home. It was deteriorating.
Show that up on
So
the
it was quite the project. We bought it in 2016. Mrs. Burns fixed it up. She was the project manager. And it's an iconic building here in Shoemakersville, Berks County, Pennsylvania.
It's beautiful.
We're on it was built by the Pennsylvania Railroad. Everybody knows Pennsylvania Railroad from the Monopoly Board. On the other side of the Schuylkill River is the Reading Railroad. So we had this is a big rail area here in Pennsylvania with coal and all kinds of stuff. But this was built like the late 1800s, 1900. It's a really iconic building. You guys are welcome to come by anytime.
No, we'd love to. Beautiful place. And yes, you bring
gorgeous.
up a great point on that. We all know this. Owning the Reading Railroad, which I have, pays you $50 every time you land on it. You got to own more than one railroad. You got to own 2, 3, and 4 to get that $200 value when somebody lands on the railroad. So, hey, Ed, I want to tell you thank you for joining us here today on BCB Live. Before you leave, you know what it is you got to say. You got to introduce yourself, who you're with, and remind everybody that they're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
This is Big Ed Burns, live from Shoemakersville, Pennsylvania, at Burns Logistics. I'm on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
The safest station in the nation doing a little digitization.
There you go. I like it.
Hey, Ed, thank you so much. God bless you. And hey, before you go, we're good about this. We love to celebrate. So because your son's getting ready to have that baby, we're going to do a little celebration right now. Hey, congrats, Grandpa.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys. God bless you. Be well.
Take care, sir. All right. It's great to have, this week here we've had return visitors every day. And it's good to start to have some of these folks come back on, to get that report, to understand a little bit more about what they do, to see Ed at their place at work right there in Shoemaker, to see where he does it, how he makes it happen. But Dave, here's the thing about Burns Logistics. That passion they have to make the carrier, to match that carrier and that shipper up and to create that relationship and success is pretty critical.
Yeah, I know. And as we have these repeat guests and like Big Ed, when they first come on, we do the introductory and we kind of explain what they do. But then when they come back, they get more involved and bring more value to what we're talking about. I really enjoyed when Big Ed was talking about getting involved with your carrier. I mean, getting with your local trade association, with your local government agencies to help make the industry better. I think the more we get involved with one another, I think it's going to make this industry 100% better.
Yeah, for certain on that. Hey, listen, we still have more to come. You got it. You got Double Check Dale, and everybody's waiting. They know around this time we should be talking weather, traffic, and it's just time they know to start talking and getting into that safety mood. All that happens right here on BCB Live, and Dale's coming up next on the safest station in the nation, going digitization. You're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. BCB Live covers freight. Here we are now at 21% of record freight being rejected. News down in Texas. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We had another $1.5 million seizure. If ever there's a time to do a pre or post trip, it's if you're doing something wrong. Weather, traffic.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to some traffic and weather with Buckle Up Bob. You can kind of see where the visibility can be compromised a little bit. Again, right where that rain is.
And most importantly, safety. One of the things that we must do is make sure that safety is the number one thing that we focus on.
Going into an intersection yellow is not the way. That's to clear an intersection, not to enter an intersection.
Tune in weekdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can watch BCB Live through LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today and follow BCB Live.
Welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. You got Double Check Dale here on this Thankful Thursday, and I am thankful for all the professional people, professional drivers in the transportation industry, but not only the drivers, the backroom people, the dispatchers, driver managers, the safety people, the customer service. So thank you to everybody that helps get freight and everything delivered to the stores so people have what they need. Hey, today in weather, not a lot going on. We're going to look at the winds first, and no major winds or areas of concern today. You know, a little bit later, we're going to see some stronger winds out in the panhandles, Oklahoma and Texas, a little bit in southwest Kansas, but nothing major. Stretches up into the Minnesota area. No gust over the 35 miles an hour up in that area projected. You know, we go into the afternoon or evening, nothing going on. Starting to look at tomorrow. You know, no strong winds at this point, looking for tomorrow afternoon, except maybe in the Wyoming area where it's always a little bit windy. So, you know, winds, we got a pretty good handle on it. Let's take a look and see what's going on with precipitation right now. Thunderstorms, let's go. Rain, and there's the one we want. You know, currently some rain going on out in Pennsylvania, New York, the D.C. area, New Jersey. Doesn't look like anything severe. A little bit of a storm on the Nebraska-Kansas line currently going on. As we slide that ahead to this afternoon, we're seeing just a lot of pop-up storms or pop-up showers in the western part of the United States, you know, through Colorado. New Mexico still picking up some of the rain that they much needed there. Nevada looks like they'll get some a little bit in California. Minnesota's picking up some, and that storm on the Nebraska-Kansas line has expanded a little bit. Looks like some rain out in the Charlotte, Carolina this afternoon, but you know, nothing's predicted to be severe today. Just a lot of different showers in a lot of different places, pretty fast moving, so not a lot going on in precipitation. I can pull the temperatures up, but I'm going to tell you, it's going to be hot in a lot of places today, you know, especially in the south. We're going to see, you know, triple digits, potential for triple digits in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Oklahoma City 97. That heat stretches all the way through the Midwest, central part of the United States. You know, Chicago's only going to be 76, but Iowa City 90, St. Louis 90, Memphis 94. So a lot of heat going on. Get along those Gulf Coast states, a lot of heat and a lot of humidity. So again, make sure you have plenty of water. Stay hydrated. Know the signs of heat stress, heat stroke. Don't overexert. If you need to take a break, if you're feeling dizzy or something, hey, take that break. Let your manager or your dispatcher know what's going on and say, hey, I'm feeling a little woozy. I'm just going to take a short break. But take care of yourself out there in this heat and humidity. With that, we'll take a short break.
This segment has been brought to you by Utility ProWear. Utility ProWear manufactures high quality, ANSI certified, high visibility apparel for both men and women. Infused with the Teflon fabric protector, Utility ProWear gives you the added benefit of providing a barrier to liquids, dirt, and grime, keeping you cleaner longer, brighter longer, and therefore safer longer. Get your high visibility apparel by going to utilityproware.com. Use the code BCB20 at checkout for an exclusive discount.
And welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Listen, I know during the interview my mic had gone out for a second, and for those of you that didn't get a chance to hear it, I want you to hear it now, that it takes all of us to make this successful, and none of this could happen without Drive Safe Dave. So I wanted to make sure you heard that when my mic was out during the show.
Thank you, Sir Rick. It's so nice to have your support and your backing.
Dale,
Speechless. Guys, just speechless. Hey, let's talk a little bit about safety. You know, we've been talking about distracted driving this week. And so, you know, today we're going to break down, there's 4 different types of distracted driving. The first one we're going to talk about is the visual, and everybody thinks about that one. That's what we're seeing out there. You know, I Drive Safe and I have had conversations. So when you're driving, what gets you? For me, I'm a farm boy. So if I'm going through a rural area and I see farm equipment out in the field or something, that's what distracts me. So I got to be aware of that. You know, auditory, that's conversations, can be conversations with somebody, whether it's on the phone or not, or whether it's, you know, your wife sitting next to you. That can be a real distraction. So you just got to remember that, hey, having that conversation, but stay focused on what I'm trying to get done out here, and that's drive and pay attention, know the big picture. The other one, another one is the manual distraction. You know, that's the one where we're reaching for the radio controls or for our soda or something that may have fell, or our paperwork, our bill of lading. So we just got to have everything in our truck organized, know where it's at. If you're in a different truck, familiarize yourself with the controls before you get out there, get in a thunderstorm and start looking for the remote or for the windshield controls. And then the last one is cognitive. And I mean, I can say it in my mind, but when I try saying it out loud, it's a little different. It's when you're thinking about something other than driving. I mean, it could be your family. If something's going on at home, it could be your friends, or may even be, you know, work, the load you have on, or the next load you're getting. You know, a lot of times we let our minds wander about that, especially on those long stretches of open highway. We just start thinking about something else instead of that vehicle ahead of us, what's going on in the big picture. So you just really have to be aware of the different types and how to stay focused on them.
Great point. And Dale, I like how you brought that home a little bit too, making it personal for you. Drive Safe Dave, we heard it from the country boy right here, but from you who grew up in a neighborhood that was guarded and you know, silver spoon and all that. You know, what's your what's your story on that? We heard country. Tell us on the city side.
Well, you mean what possible distractions there could
Yes,
be? Yeah, girls. Just saying. But other than that, you know, what's interesting is I actually watched, and we're talking about something very important. I watched something yesterday on Nova. It's called Look Who's Driving, and it has a lot to do with autonomy, and it talked about the difficulty, how hard driving really is, and how good humans are at it, and how they're trying to get, you know, computers to do it, and how they're getting autonomy to get going. But I'll tell you, the ability for drivers to focus on the road is the primary purpose, and being able to understand what's happening out there. And if you get distracted for whatever reason, whether it be just daydreaming or turning into the radio, you're losing that 100% ability to make a good and effective reaction of what's going on out there. You've got to do the most hardest, difficult thing in the world, and that's driving, and you got to focus on it and save lives. I think they were reporting almost 40-something thousand died last year in automobile accidents, and that's just 99% of them are because somebody did something wrong.
There you go.
Yeah.
So distractions.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, just got to stay that focused. And it gets tough. Like I said, you know, you're in that truck, you're driving for 10, 11 hours. Staying focused for that long is hard, but the professional drivers know how to do it, know how to manage that a little bit with the brakes, getting out, getting their rest, and that type of stuff. Staying hydrated, knowing when they need to pull over instead of, you know, trying to push it. So, you know, just got to stay focused out there. So important.
All right, and now comes the time where we get to look at videos and see the good, the bad, the ugly. What do we have leading off the show today?
First video we got is called Speed Over.
You know, right here we're following too close, and we talk about this a lot, and we look at the speed. We're going 63 miles an hour in a 60. If we just slow down to the speed limit, the following distance increases, traffic is pulling away, and we don't have the situation to where we're following too close. So, I mean, it's really about that speed and space management. Manage your speed to get that space.
Looks like just about every single person is following too close, and everybody's doing the wrong thing. I mean, every single person out here is really too close to the person behind them. I mean, they just...
And that doesn't make it okay.
It doesn't make it okay.
No. And just because everybody's running 63, 65, 67, doesn't make it okay. It's still speeding. If he pulls 1 out of 10 over, hey, it's your lucky day or unlucky day for doing it, but you're still going too fast.
Next video we got is called Sometimes It's Just About Patience.
You know, here's when we just got to understand, you know, patience. We're not getting there any quicker by following this close, and then we jump over to the other lane to see if we can go around this way. Hey, just back off and get the patience, get that big picture, know what's going on ahead of you, instead of following too close and then making an unsafe lane change to go with it.
Yeah, need a little patience, just a little patience.
Next video we got is called The Big Picture.
And again, when we get so close and we get behind, we can't see the big picture. And you kind of see that truck in the other lane, so you know that we're coming up on another one. But if we back off, we have so much more of a picture, more of a view what's going on. We can make better decisions at that time. And so again, just increase that following distance and the big picture opens up for you.
The next video we got is called 0.9 to 0.8.
You know, we talk about following distance, and here's one where, hate to see it, where we're actually gaining a little bit. You know, if we had the mantra up there, this is some of that newer technology that shows us the speed and space distance. And so we started out at about a 0.09, and by the end of it, instead of increasing our space, we've actually decreased a little to 0.08. Now, driver's probably going to say, well, I was getting ready to pass. That may be the case, but that doesn't make it right to get that close up behind them, because if our vehicle comes along and you come over right behind them, now you've got that same situation. So you just have to back off and make those safe lane changes, pass safely.
Yeah, you know, Dale, I'm going to make some phone calls here, but with some of this technology, I want to see maybe tomorrow or even on maybe next week sometimes. Let's get a couple videos that show how far we are, what the computer picks up. You know, some of these, the technology, it'll tell you that, hey, you're 0.8 seconds right now from the vehicle in front of you. I want you know, if we can, I would like our viewers to be able to see what it is, what that technology is out there. You know, it's pretty impressive. You know, it's looking at the vehicles to your right, to your left, to the one in front of you. It's looking at all of that and trying to help you make a better, a safer decision.
Next video we got is called Not Cool Move, but Back Off.
You know, I understand we get frustrated at time and cars
Talk
make
about
bonehead.
tailgating.
Yeah,
It's towing. You kind of have to tailgate when you tow. It's just kind of a built-in process.
yeah, that really is tailgating. But you know, the distance stays very consistent there. That's platooning. But anyway, you know, so we see the four-wheelers, you know, make these boneheaded moves, cut us off a little bit. And I understand, you know, there's some frustration with that. But you can't let it get to you. You can't close it up and say, well, you know, he did this to me, so I'm going to jump right up on his tail. That's aggressive driving, and aggressive driving never leads to anything good. So just, you know, have that patience, relax a little bit, back off, and let the boneheads be boneheads.
Next video we got is called Rolling Stop.
Just stop. S-T-O-P. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Yeah, it's moving. You didn't stop.
Yeah, it's
No, you didn't stop.
I mean, you just didn't stop. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go old school on it. You know you stop when nothing's moving. When you stop, that's how you know you stop.
Yeah, when the car kind of does that smooth, you know, that.
If you're wondering if you stopped, you didn't. Stop, and then you go. Always stop until you know you stopped, and then it's not hard. I'm telling you, because I have made that move to do that. And even again, going home, let me tell you something. When you're the only one in America that stops, and I guess I'm that person now.
Oh my God!
My wife gives me the dirtiest looks at stop signs, and I don't give her. I don't.
Oh, you didn't even rate. You
I
don't
don't
even
recognize it. But I
okay.
kind of, you know, I got that phenomenal peripheral vision. I'm looking at her, looking at me like, really, you're stopping? It's the neighborhood stop sign. And you know what? And she's probably the same one that when there's no. If there was nobody at the cash register, she's going to take all the groceries.
Or the wood outside.
I'm learning, Dave. In my family, I'm the only one with integrity. It's it.
Except at Kroger.
I'm one of the only ones. I'm wondering, Dave, if I all of a sudden I lose my integrity, what I'm doing right now, the world may come to an end. I think that I am the lone one out there saving all of y'all right now.
Wow, the pivotal character. Do you truly? You know what? I'm going to get
think I
NASA.
am.
I'm going to get NASA on the phone today, and we're going to try to figure out if you are
you
the
gonna
center,
get NASA?
the
Are
center
you-
of the universe.
You know people at NASA.
As a matter of fact, I do. They're very smart.
no longer Sir Rick, it's the lone wolf Rick. I mean,
You know what? I don't know if I was the only one the other day that saw that bright light that Dave that I made mention to you. is that really seriously? Sometimes when you look at me, is that what you see?
No.
Because I've been called the beacon of light, always going out there leading people to the promised land, giving out a lot of.
I understand, Sir Rick. I understand. I'm going to be honest with you. There are different things that you're called when you're not around, and I don't know that any of them were beacon of light, but but I try to tell them that how important it is that you hear that each and every day.
You know, we look at those videos, and so much of it is just the habits that we have. It's we got to recognize what our habits are, and then understand what it takes to correct them. You know, by looking at those videos where we roll those stop signs. By golly, I was rolling it. You know, so many times I stopped for it. No, 7 miles an hour, 8 miles an hour is not a stop. 0 is a stop. So
we've actually got 2 more if y'all want to go into those. I was just kind of over to show
before we go to
banter.
those other 2 videos in there, I just, you know, there's a couple things, and every once in a while Drive Safe will say some things that are pretty deep out there. You're talking about the deaths, right? 40,000, and 99% of those were because somebody did something wrong. And, you know, when you think about that, it's pretty deep. I mean,
There are deaths on the highway that are caught because they aren't
but I'm gonna just go with you. Most
bridge
of them
collapsed and the people get killed. They didn't actually do anything wrong. The bridge just collapsed. I mean, I'm just saying there are times out there on the road when the guy driving didn't actually do anything wrong. The bridge fell out from under him. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to call that driver error. But you get that, right? I mean, there are moments.
I'm agreeing with you. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, but you act like you threw that stat out there like it was like, wow, man, and that's pretty deep, man. 99% it's because somebody did something wrong. Seriously, it wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't people did something wrong. We wouldn't be talking about it on that. Hey, let's go to a couple more videos on that.
You got the beacon of light and the beacon of death. here we got, this turns into aggressive driving.
you know, again, it goes back to that following distance. It's how do we recognize it and what do we do about it when we see ourselves in that situation? We back off.
Where are we
have
going?
to increase that space
Back
because
off.
where are we going? We're not
Back
getting
off.
there. We're not.
Back off. Back off.
Yeah.
Back off. I'm saying that when you bring the driver in, and whatever truck company this is at, when you see this, or if you're an independent contractor and this is your video here, you've got to make a change. I'm saying is that it's no longer can we say I didn't know.
Yep.
I mean, with electronic logs came a lot of data, came forward-facing cameras, came driver-facing cameras, came a lot of cameras that shows us things. And if something happens right now, and Dave, let's just say something doesn't happen right now. The driver made this out clear. He or she was following too close. In 2 weeks, they get into an accident from following too close. When that attorney, the plaintiff attorney, the defendant or whatever, when he goes on you and the plaintiff attorney's going after you saying, hey, I'm going to subpoena your last 60 days. And they see video after video after video after video of you doing the same thing.
Right. And
Dave, I mean, how do you not lose it in the punitive case?
yeah, absolutely. And you know what? And you're disregarding any coaching that's going on here.
Yeah, you're like, how do you
Overriding.
How are you going to convince any jury that it was a fluke deal? It's a pattern.
Right.
It's a pattern.
It
You know,
is a
the beauty and the thing about the technology, it's beautiful. It allows you, but when you don't use it the right way, when you don't fix your issues, hey, guess what? It's showing you doing everything wrong and you're not fixing it.
Right.
You've got to show your improvement on your scorecard. You've got to show improvement we're not asking for perfection. We're asking that you make those improvements along the way. You can't continue to do the same thing over and over and over because eventually it's going to get you.
Yep. And slowing down and creating space.
What is wrong with it?
No, nothing.
Is there anything wrong with it?
That's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
That's what we get paid to do on the road.
It's what we do.
We get paid to be safe on the road. Trust me. That's what you get paid to do. You don't get paid to crash.
Nope.
You don't get paid to make it dangerous. You don't get paid to make it unsafe for people out there. You get paid to make it safe. You get paid to be careful, to be the best there is out there on the road.
But what if I need more miles, Dave? I got to get more miles. I got to make this. I got to get miles to take care of my bills at home.
Not at the cost of somebody's life.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yep.
It's not worth it for you, and it's not worth it for anyone you haven't met yet. I promise you it's not worth
And
it.
I'll even go out and say this: if that's how you feel, let's just say that you feel like you can't operate in this industry safely and to make money. You've got to break the law. You've got to drive dangerous. You need to get out of this profession.
Right.
You need to go do something else that will afford you those luxuries to take that money home. It's what you got. It's a no-brainer, right? You can't go out here and drive crazy just so you can get the money to be able to pay your bills. If that's where this industry's gone, get out of the industry.
Yep.
Just get out. Well, there's a driver shortage. You can't say, yeah, I can.
Just
Do we
did.
want? I mean, yeah. Do we want people in here, Dave? That if we're 80,000 short, hey, guess what? 80,001. If you're that driver that can't operate this, now we're 80,001 short.
Yep. And
I'm
it's
okay.
And
But
it's
we're
okay.
safer.
I would rather
right.
have the roads safer,
Yep.
knowing they're safer, that the attitude about there that they want to be safer. If you disregard and you don't want to be safe out there with intentionality,
Yep.
with
The same thing, Dave, that we're talking to the independent contractor, perhaps, or the driver. Hey, the same thing I'm talking to you, the trucking company.
Yeah.
If you see that happening,
And you do nothing?
Yeah, you do nothing about it. Are you any better? What happens to you when you go to court? And if you have 1 truck, 50 trucks, 5,000 trucks, listen, that's more information. They can see how you are doing as a company. Where again, Dave, I don't think there's a jury one that's asking for perfection.
Nope.
I think they're looking, are you doing the right things? Are you making those moves? Are you addressing the issues the right way? Or are you allowing the same drivers to do the same thing, aggressive driving, following too close, speeding over and over and over, and gone are the days that we didn't know, because we all have the technology today that kind of tells us.
Yep.
It's telling on us. It's identifying those drivers that have the issue. And to the trucking companies out there, I'm going to encourage you, Dave, and Dale, I'm a believer in this too. Hey, don't make rules for everybody. And let me go into that a little bit more. If you're having a problem with something, hey, listen, don't punish the drivers that are doing it right. Go after the drivers that are doing it wrong. I think so many times we put these rules in for everybody when we're just talking about 10% of those fleets, right? 10% of the drivers. Go after the 10%. Show them what they're doing wrong. Don't punish those others, because those other drivers, if they don't have a problem, why put them through more work?
Yeah, and not only that, and the reason I say that, the police officers aren't out there writing tickets to people going the right speed.
Thank you.
They're writing tickets and they're
Thank you.
punishing people, punitive damage. They're giving people tickets that aren't doing the right thing.
Best point of the day right there. Thank you, Drive Safe, Dave. Close us out with a prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, we gather before you today to ask for your grace in all things. Father, we ask that you encourage us to be safe, that you help us make great decisions today, and that you keep us safe out there on the road by making us do what needs to be done and doing your will as the world deems it. Father, we ask also that you help us protect others when we do what we do. We ask all these things in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Until then, make today the safest day you've ever driven. God bless. Be safe. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.